Hello, I am Scout83. You're watching an Avatar Conquest battle. My opponent is Game Player 3002, and this is a semi-live commentary. It's a live feed. I'm commentating after the fact, but anyway, I got my troops kind of formed up with my U.S. Marines in the back over on the right. I'm going to move them up. I've got some artillery, which I'm going to continue to try to move up a bit to try to make sure that they're in range. I actually didn't realize that they were pretty much already in range, which I'm going to find out here in a second, because he's got cannons too. I like cannons. They're not like ideal for all situations. Really, just because you have cannons doesn't mean you're going to win, even if the other player doesn't, because they can make up for whatever damage a cannon can do by bringing more infantry or cavalry or something. So it's not like it's powerful, but I don't consider it to be like, you know, the be-all of battlefields. So anyway, you can see that I'm pulling my general back just in case he decides he wants to shoot at my general, which I've had several times. I really, personally, I avoid shooting at the enemy generals unless I am taking direct fire from their artillery. Then I'll be like, okay, well, fine. But anyway, I'm actually really happy because he's shooting with his artillery against my artillery, which is excellent, because if he's shooting at my artillery, then he's not shooting at my infantry, and I'm going to shoot at his infantry, so I'm going to try to weaken his infantry, which will hopefully give me the advantage once I get to that point. But as I see, he's moving his cavalry over on my left, so I'm like, I realize I got to get all my cavalry over there as I'm moving up the rest of my line. And really, at this point, I'm just trying to set up some sort of defensive line to hold them until there, and I turn my artillery over to shoot at them, and yeah. I do have to say one thing, I really hate the glitch, where your men just won't fire. You're like sitting there with like an elite infantry and they get wiped out by something like a white tiger force, or something really that shouldn't take out like US Marines or something. And your US Marines like don't get any shots off because they get massacred because they won't fire, because your men are glitching and not doing anything. I think that's annoying. So anyway, here they're charging in. At the moment, I'm just trying to delay them, do as much damage as I can. And I think about moving them into attack, but I'm like, no, I better get my general out of there. And my artillery finally got pushed off by the enemy artillery, but my infantry's already engaging, so I think I'm in fairly good shape. Really, it's more of a delaying action until I can hopefully crush their infantry. I've got some nice trying to get around their line, push this side of their line off, that way I can move up. And actually, I start winning the cavalry battle over here. So they're starting to retreat, which is always a good thing. I like it. I like seeing fleeing enemy. It's nice. So my opponent starts turning his artillery against my infantry, which is really what you should. I think artillery duels where artillery pieces are shooting each other is just stupid. It's a waste of artillery, I think. Let's see here. So now I'm trying to push up. This unit that just ran off is going to come back, but I'm just going to turn this US Marines, excuse me, Imperial Infantry, to engage them, and I'm going to put the US Marines to try to take advantage of the flanks. Now I'm going to try to, I use my artillery stops running, so I'm going to put them back on and bring up my general for morale and to try to stop this unit from routing, which they eventually do. Really, the move on my right at this point is more or less a holding action to try to keep them busy while I try to push up and over with the right. And I'm going to continue trying to move up. Luckily, like, the artillery, as bad as it is, if you're being aggressive, it's just more of a nuisance than it is as big of a threat. I mean, it can do some really bad damage, but if you're being aggressive, by the time they do any serious damage, you'll have already won the battle or lost. I do get myself in trouble a lot by being way too aggressive, but it's just me. So anyway, I'm now pushing up trying to roll down the right, basically, which now their infantry's gone. It's just their general. They've got some spear units back there with their guarding their cannon, which I'm not quite sure why they didn't move those up. I should have tried to do something with them, but now they're going to do a charge against my thing. I'm trying to figure out what to shoot at with my artillery, then I'm like, well, actually, maybe I should shoot at the artillery, but then I realize they're spear units, so I target them. And I was thinking I should turn around my unit over here on the side, Imperial Infantry, but then I was like, well, by the time I move them, they'll be on there. They'll be doing more damage just standing there on the sideways shooting at them than they will otherwise, so I left them there.
Damn lily-livered cowards!
My left wing just vanished, but that's okay. I'm not that concerned with it. I'm winning so badly where the real battle is taking place that it's not really a concern. Actually, I realize I'm going to push up with those two units and then turn those other two units to face them. I think I start targeting their artillery with my artillery. Oh, I guess I already did that. He's got his general right there with his artillery too, which is kind of a bit of a bad idea. He's going to get killed with everything I'm throwing at the artillery. But at this point it doesn't necessarily matter because it looks like I'm going to win the battle anyway. Although my artillery eventually runs... No, it doesn't. That's right, it's still there. It's just the flag's way over there, I don't know why. So finally they break and everything, but...
You have triumphed over the enemy.
Anyway, I think this was a good game. Overall, I like Fall of the Samurai. The only really big problem I have with it is the speed of the battles. I think they're way too fast. I would like them to at least split the difference between this and like Napoleon or something, and you know, make it a little bit slower because it's just really fast. So anyway, I enjoyed this battle. I want to say good game to my opponent, and here are I'm going to bring up the unit statistics here in a second. I lost 533. He lost, I killed 767 of his units, and yeah, it was fun. My units did pretty darn good for the most part. Some of them suffered really heavy casualties, but overall they did really well. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Feel free to comment or anything else you want on this video. Thank you.